Hey guys, Dan here with Pain Free You. This is on Worrying Yourself Sick, Part 2. I woke up this morning, shared that video to my group and my page, listened to it again, and realized that I probably left you guys hanging a little bit. So I wanted to do a really quick follow-up that I'm going to publish immediately. As soon as I can get it uploaded, I will. So this is Worrying Yourself Sick Part 2. The first video was really a lot about minimizing your input from places like Facebook groups and support groups and, the internet, and really kind of minimizing the influence on your fears and worries. But for those of us who have already learned that lesson and have stopped going to the websites and have exited from a lot of these, I call them toxic support groups, we're still often left with worries. We're still often left with the fears and the what ifs, right? And so I'll start first with 2 ways to approach doctors. When a doctor says, here it is on your MRI, you're broken. This is not going to get better. It's only going to get worse as you age. You're going to have a lifetime of pain. Or if you have fibromyalgia, or if you have whatever, chronic fatigue, and anytime they say there's no cure, that's a really good time to say, thanks doc, I appreciate that, but you're wrong. I'm going to get better. So there's one time when I encourage you not to listen to your doctors, when they give you a prognosis of no hope. When do you listen to your doctor? One, if they find something life-threatening, of course, take some medical action. Infection, fractures, that's not life-threatening, but it's a true physical trauma injury, right? But anything life-threatening, of course, take some medical action. But if they look at you and say, we've done the evaluations, we've looked at your tests, your imaging studies, I don't know why these symptoms are happening with you. I don't know why you're so tired. Your blood work checks out. Your imaging studies check out. I don't know what's wrong with this, or what's wrong with you. Let's say you've got IBS. Sometimes they'll scope you down the throat. Sometimes they'll scope you up the other way. And they will say, yeah, I don't see anything that would be causing this. So that is a perfect opportunity to say, gotcha, doc, thank you. I just wanted to rule out anything significant, major, or life-threatening. And that is when you believe the doctor. So sometimes you believe the doctor, sometimes you don't. And you've got to be very selective. And if you hear a doctor say, I don't know what's wrong with you, we can't find anything that's wrong with you, that equals stress illness. And Dr. David Clark wrote a fantastic book called They Can't Find Anything Wrong with Me. Go look it up. Clark with an E at the end, C-L-A-R-K-E, Dr. David Clark. They Can't Find Anything Wrong with Me. Fantastic book. And his entire premise is that stress illness is when they really can't find anything that would legitimately justify what symptoms you're experiencing, whether it be pain or other things. And he gets into a lot of other things besides just pain. So for those of you who have other things besides pain, that's a fantastic book, and I would highly, highly recommend it. So, Worrying Yourself Sick, Part 2. You've already minimized the influence of those external things, and there are definitely times to believe your doctor, other times not to. So what happens if you're still stuck in a worrying mode? Sometimes we were, the people who were in charge of our upbringing were worriers, and they taught us to worry. And this is something that can be changed, and something you will need to teach yourself to do. And let's say you're stuck with these anxious thoughts and you're worrying about, well, what if the doctor missed something? And that is a very, very, very common worry, right? Hey, the doctor said they don't know what's wrong, but I've got all these real symptoms. I'm really a mess. What if the doctor missed something? And then you go from specialist to specialist to specialist. You go to holistic doctors, alternative health doctors, and before you know it, you're popping 20 supplements and you're doing all sorts of very interesting physical treatments and ending up not in a better place, and really just getting worse and worse and worse the more you go down that medical route, even alternative medical things. And you'll hear people say CBD oil and all sorts of stuff. And I'm not suggesting those things don't have any value, but what I've learned over a lot of years of personal stress illness with my back pain and radiating leg pain, that the doctors term sciatica, which is supposedly, according to the doctors, a neurological disorder. If I bought into that, I'd still be walking around limping and hurting. But I decided a while ago that what I had going on was a stress illness. It was TMS. It was, distraction, pain. So, where do we go from here? You're still worried. You're still fearful. What if the doctors missed something? What if they didn't, and you're worrying over nothing? What if it is really just a stress illness? What if? These what if questions we pose to ourselves. What if I'm dying? What if I keep getting worse? What if I can never get a job again? I'll be broke. What if I end up homeless? What? Right? We're worrying ourselves sick. And a great guy to listen to. Go look up Dr. Bruce Lipton. He wrote the book called Biology of Belief, and he's got a lot of fantastic presentations and lectures on YouTube. Dr. Bruce Lipton. And he makes some exceptionally good points that if the brain, through thought alone and stress alone, has the ability to make us sick, wouldn't it make sense that that same brain, if used in a more productive way, has the ability to make us well again? And it's absolutely the case. It's not a one-way street, folks. If you can worry yourself sick, and in the last video I gave a number of examples of how that happens, you can absolutely think yourself to wellness. And it all comes down to choice and awareness and decision, right? Because we all know when we are freaking ourselves out and in a panic and working ourselves into a complete anxiety attack over the what if the doctor missed something, what if I'm really sick, what if. And we know, we've got proof in our own experience that doesn't help us. It only makes things worse, whether it be pain, whether it be other symptoms, fatigue, fibromyalgia, gastrointestinal problems, reflux. We just know that when we freak out, things get worse. And nothing biologically happened to you from the outside. But biologically, things change when you are under a lot of stress, either from external stress, or in our case, with this worrying, from internal stress. And we can literally, through our own thoughts, we can literally change the biology of our body. The biology of belief. Right? Bruce Lipton. Go check him out. The belief that we're sick and getting worse changes our biology. The belief that we're well and the belief that we can heal changes our biology. It changes our cells. It changes our autonomic nervous system. It impacts our immune system. Right? And let's talk about the immune system really quickly. The immune system is an amazing, wonderful thing. However, Bruce Lipton will say, when you are under stress, what happens to the immune system? It shuts down. If you are under chronic stress and your immune system is chronically shut down, what do you think happens? We can get sick easier, we can get colds easier, we get allergies, we get asthma, we've got all sorts of things. And if you had a worrying parent who was like, go put your coat on, you're going to get sick if you go outside without a coat, and wash your hands 15 times, and let's use this, Purell hand sanitizer, and you got a parent that literally just taught you to be worried about everything. You've literally taught yourself to be afraid of everything, or your parents did. But through belief, we can change our biology. And so Dr. Bruce Lipton, really, really smart guy. It's not a one-way street. It's not just worrying yourself sick. You can believe yourself well. And another example, I've mentioned him before, and I'll mention him in this video, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He was in an accident and basically got hit by an SUV while he was on the bicycle portion of a triathlon. He had 6 or 7 compression fractures in his spine. I mean, really significant trauma to his body. And he had not 1, but 2, but 3, but 4 surgeons say he needed the Harrington rod, which is basically a rod that goes from your neck down to your tailbone. And they said, this is your only hope of ever being able to walk again. If not, you're stuck. You're going to be a cripple. Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza is a doctor of chiropractic, and he was insightful enough to believe in the body's ability to heal. So if we can cut ourselves, and it will heal itself, grow itself back together, he believed, why not this circumstance? And so he refused the surgery, and he said for like 9 months he laid on his stomach. And he had the intention every single day of meditating and, most importantly, visualizing his spine healing and rebuilding and growing back together. And it took him a long time. It took him over 3 months before he could get through the visualization of literally his cells reforming and regrowing and rebuilding the structure of his spine. Because halfway through he would run into the thought that would jump into his head that says, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. What are you, stupid? This is a waste of time. You're going to be a cripple. Blah, blah, blah. Right? That annoying roommate in the head. But he remained diligent and committed to this visualization process. And he got better and better at it. But it took practice. It took him a long time before he could visualize the health and the vitality that he wanted. And so it's fascinating because for somebody who is told by 4 surgeons that you need this massively invasive, structurally permanent surgery, or you won't ever walk again, through his mindset, through his belief, he affected his biology. He trusted the body's innate wisdom to heal itself and take care of itself. And literally, he got up and walked 9 months later. I forget the time frame. It may have been 9 weeks. I don't know if you know the answer to that. Is it 9 weeks or 9 months? But after 12 weeks or 12 months, again, don't know the exact time frame, he returned to his chiropractic practice. And so he now teaches in his workshops the meditation and visualization, and he's got all sorts of people literally having spontaneous recoveries from things that you wouldn't even believe. I'm not going to mention them here, but people literally changing their biology and having spontaneous remission of things that have been with them for years or decades, and illnesses that supposedly are incurable. And so the body has an unbelievable ability to heal itself if we get out of its way and if we encourage it. So if you are the type to worry yourself sick, understand that just our thoughts and these worries and what if the most horrible things happen to me can literally bring them into fruition, as exampled in the video earlier, part 1. the young lady who literally would read about symptoms, and she would get so worried about them, she literally created them in her body. And so notice these things. And if you are a worrier, stop saying, I am a worrier, right? Because I am statements are very much identifying yourself as that. I am a worrier. That sounds fairly permanent. Language matters. We had a discussion on this on Facebook yesterday. Instead of saying I'm a worrier, just say I'm in the habit of worrying. Sounds a lot less permanent, a little more temporary, a little more changeable, right? I am something sounds a lot more permanent. It's like your ownership. It's who you are. No, you're not a worrier. You are somebody who sometimes worries. Big difference. So watch your language. And I don't mean that like don't curse. I mean literally watch your language. What we say to ourselves, what we say to others, right? So what do you guys think? I hope that this video... Oh, I'm not done yet. Awareness. We have to become aware of how and when we are worrying, right? If you are walking around working yourself into a frenzy with these worrying thought patterns, you must be aware of it. We need to listen to that internal voice in our head that's chatting at us all day long. And if they're saying, you're going to get worse, this isn't going to get any better, and you're literally noticing yourself, you become aware of the fact that you are worrying. You're not stuck. You don't have to keep doing that all day long. Becoming aware of it is the step one. Step two is deciding that this is harmful to me. These worrying thoughts are literally bad for me. And it's not that you're going to imagine yourself sick and now you're imagining these symptoms. You can literally change your biology through worry, through anxious fears, through the belief that you're going to be unwell, and we can literally create that unwellness. And so awareness that you're doing this doesn't mean you're a lunatic and you've got to beat yourself up for being crazy and a worrier. No, it just means that, wow, if I can worry myself unwell, I'm an adult, I can decide to change that. And I can shift to things that are more productive. Well, what's that? Well, every time you notice or become aware of the fact that you are worrying over future illness, pain, symptoms, whatever, hard stop. Stop. Dan, stop. Stop. Replace. Right? Erase. Replace. Hard stop. Notice. Become aware. And stop. Now, to say stop thinking negatively doesn't serve you, because if I say stop thinking negatively, all you hear is think negatively, right? So, you want to start thinking wellness. You want to start thinking about your body taking care of itself. Trust the body. It really knows what to do when you get out of its way. When you stop sabotaging it by telling it you're going to be sick, you're going to be sick, you're going to be sick. The brain delivers what you instruct it. So if all day long you are basically instructing it to be unwell, the brain goes, I guess he or she wants to be unwell, and begins to create that in the biology. So if that's true, which it is, and you may have even proven that to yourself by adopting new symptoms, and I'm not talking about the symptom imperative. You may not have even thought about it. Let's say you got rid of your back pain, but all of a sudden your knee starts hurting. I didn't say you created that. That's TMS and the symptom imperative, and it's probably a topic for another video. But if you worry if this is going to happen, and it does, you've proven to yourself that your thoughts can literally make you sick. You can worry yourself sick. So believe it. And then choose to begin thinking about wellness. Choose to Believe in your body's ability to take care of itself. The body was not designed to hurt for our lifetimes. The body was designed to heal. And look around you. You know, if you want to Google something, Google miraculous healing. Go to YouTube and look up miraculous healing. And start to see how crazy it is that the body heals. I have a friend, not a friend, a guy who used to teach my son how to ride off-road dirt bikes. And this guy's in his late 40s, and his motto is MX, meaning motocross, MX for life. And this guy is evidence that the body heals. I mean, this guy has gone down on that motorcycle, fallen, crashed, brutally. I can't even tell you how many times, hundreds of times throughout his life and his experiencing career on motocross. And he literally goes out and does races in his age group. He's coming in first, second, third sometimes. And so this guy rides crazy hard. But he has broken, I don't know, at least 20 bones in his body. He's broken his neck crashing. He's broken, you name it, his femur several times. Like, this guy, if you listed out his injuries, you would think he's got to be paralyzed. But he's not. He's back on the bike and rides again. He walks fine. Because he has this belief that his body has the inherent ability and capability of healing. And it does. Because he believes it, he doesn't get in its way. He doesn't have to do anything proactive other than allow his body to heal, and it does. So, trust your body to take care of itself, and if you feel like your body's turned on you, what instructions are you giving your brain? Are you giving your brain anxious, worrisome, what-if thoughts? Are you feeding it Dr. Google, Wikipedia, WebMD, and toxic Facebook groups where everybody is vomiting their symptomology to you and you are now becoming more and more worried? Look, if you don't want to have these new symptoms come upon you, you got to stop feeding it. And you also have to stop instructing your brain that that is something that's going to happen for you. So awareness. Hard stop. Replace those fearful thoughts with other thoughts. Do a little research into visualization. I can't really get into that whole topic here, but visualization is key. Literally, visualize when you're meditating. Visualize your body being well. Visualize your symptoms fading away. Visualize all this stuff. So, visualization is key, meditation is key, deep breathing is key, getting out in nature is key. Look guys, I'm out here, and the noise that you're hearing, that little high-pitched, more I think crickets right now. The cicadas come out a little bit later in the day, but unfortunately they're still here. Visualize, and if you want to study something interesting, YouTube visualization. Dr. Bruce Lipton has some things. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza has some things. Dr. Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton have books. These guys are going to help you start to reframe and choose your thoughts more wisely. Facebook groups and Dr. Google and Wikipedia and WebMD will not. And remember, if you go to a doctor and he gives you a diagnosis, yeah, we can believe a diagnosis. This is what's going on, that he can see, that he can validate medically, but do not buy into the prognosis, because oftentimes they don't know about stress illness, and if they do, they don't adopt it into their practice, or they don't believe it. And so read Dr. David Clark's book, They Can't Find Anything Wrong with Me, or They Can't Find Anything Wrong. It's a great book to explain stress illness. But you can make a change here, guys. You are not a worrier. You're just in the habit of worrying. And habits can be changed. I know that for a fact. So, look, this video is getting, holy cow, 24 to almost 25 minutes long. I did want to follow up on that because I think I left you hanging on that, can you worry yourself sick video 1. So this one's going to publish soon. I'm going to go inside, upload it, and as soon as it's uploaded, I will post it and share it and make sure everybody sees this in my Pain For You page and group. So I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this helped round out that first video. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you again.